Alex Eala savagely retaliated against Aryna Sabalenka. Yes, a camera was used to record everything. An irate handshake months ago escalated into an unexpected full-fledged battle. It went beyond simply winning a match. It was about pride, redemption, and proving that talent could overcome authority. As the two reconnected under the bright lights, each serve and point seemed like a statement. But that evening's activities went far beyond tennis. It became a lesson in self-control, rage, and revenge. For Alexa, this was more than just a game. It was revenge. It all began a few months ago on a steamy evening among Dubai's brilliant lights. Alex Eala onto the court with the same quiet focus that had helped her win junior titles and gain national recognition. Aryna Sabalenka was fierce, powerful, and blatantly confident as she stood across the net. It was not just a match. There was a planet collision. Youth versus experience. Calm precision versus raw ferocity. From the first serve, there was an incredible amount of enthusiasm. Sabalenka's fury tore through the air like thunder, but Eala's control and court sense reacted coolly. For a while, everything appeared to be in balance, but then Sabalenka began to use her psychological ploy. Between points, she smiled. Maybe she was overly boisterous in her celebration. And when I failed to make a straightforward return, Sabalenka's frown across the net said it all. This is not where you belong. Around the second set, frustration began to set in. With each stroke I made, the weight of anticipation seemed to resound. The well-known performers received more applause from the audience than the emerging talent who was still learning the ropes. When the cameras zoomed in on her eyes, they broke. Sabalenka knew how to use that. She roared after aces, smiled after victories, and danced around the baseline with the authority of someone who has already written the conclusion. The story's pivotal moment then occurred. Point of the game. Eala fought through 3 deuces, guarding with unwavering will, but Sabalenka finished it with a crushing forehand winner down the line in her usual valiant fashion. The crowd erupted. Eala stood still, her racket slack in her fingers. As they approached to shake hands, the tension was palpable. In a whisper that was only partially picked up by the microphones, Sabalenka remarked, "Welcome to the big leagues, kid." Then there was a smile. That smug, disdainful smile would be viewed for days by millions of people on the internet. Eala forced the reconstruction. Ella's quiet metamorphosis grinned back, but her eyes conveyed a different message. Beneath that calm face, humiliation, irritation, and something deeper battled. An unspoken promise. Back in the changing room, Eala hid behind the cameras. She sat quietly with a towel over her head while her phone continued to vibrate. The handshake footage had gone viral. Fans examined every frame. Her poise was defended by several. Others made fun of her quietness. Sabalenka showed off her power. One comment was read. Another added, "Give the girl some time. You'll notice." That night, I skimmed it all. Every tweet, every highlight, every jab about her lack of experience. She held back her tears. She didn't snap. She simply continued to observe because something had changed inside of her. The loss did not break her. It carved her. The goal it imprinted could not be obscured by slumber. She began reviewing each point in her mind as blueprints rather than mistakes. Every missed shot was an opportunity to learn. Sabalenka's smirks all became fuel. Over the next few days, she vanished from the public spotlight. No interviews, no training videos, and no declarations. Those who knew her well, though, saw the change. Her workouts grew longer and her rallies more intense. Rather than making them public, she started living positive messages. One of her teachers mumbled, "Revenge," as he observed her from across the floor. That is what motivates her right now. He was right. Because every drop of perspiration, every repeat, and every mark on her hand bore the same name after that night. Sabalenka. At the time, the cameras were not aware of it. It caught the fans off guard. But the next time Alex Eala performed for Aryna Sabalenka, she wouldn't be a burgeoning star. It would be like a tempest. After that night in Dubai, Alex Eala disappeared. It's noise, not tennis. Just quiet, no interviews, press conferences, or updates on social media. But something powerful was emerging in that silence. They said that vengeance is best served cold. Eala thought it was earned. As the rest of the tennis world moved on, she essentially and figuratively vanished. Her training base relocated to Mallorca, where days extended into nights and regularity became an obsession. Meetings that used to last 6 hours now last 8. Matches against practice partners gave rise to battles. The coaches said they had never seen her like this. Ruthless, unwavering, and determined. Her staff referred to it as the rebuild, while Eala termed it unfinished business. Every morning started before the sun came up. She would stand at the baseline with her eyes closed, reliving in her mind the handshake, Sabalenka's cunning smile, and the whisper that said, "You're not ready." She was not driven by rage. It served a purpose. She did not intend to destroy Sabalenka. She wanted to surpass her. It was a psychological shift in addition to a bodily one. She watched Sabalenka's serve rhythm, how she covered up missed strokes, and how she breathed before a forehand. Eala didn't only prepare to play her again. She prepared herself to understand her. After every practice shot she missed, she whispered to herself, "Next time." Her coach once tried to stop her after she had been on the court for 5 hours. Eala said, "Just looking up, she trains longer." He didn't, and when retaliation takes place in court, they argue once more. Her absence began to be noticed by the sports community. Fans wanted to know where she was. There are rumors. She is in pain. She's worn out. She is no longer self-assured. But those who had seen her training knew this. A fire was present. It was just hidden, waiting to explode when the time was right. Then one afternoon, a video surfaced online. A little training video was sent by a teammate. Eala is hitting serves with all of her strength. Like thunder, each one echoed through the empty inside court. It simply stated, "She's coming back stronger." In just a few hours, it went viral. The comments flooded in. "She looks different. She is quite concentrated. Is this about Sabalenka?" Eala never confirmed it. She was not required to. The eyes conveyed the tale. Sharper, colder, and more purposeful. Her co-workers noticed the shift as well. The girl, who had previously questioned her own time, now pursued excellence. The individual who had smiled under pressure now stared through it. When her coach inquired if she was ready to continue the trip, all she could say was, "Find me her bracket." And fate did just that. A few weeks later, the WTA draw for the Madrid Open was cancelled. Eala and Sabalenka are in the same area. If they both advanced, they would undoubtedly face off in the quarterfinals. The internet went bananas. Sports media termed it the revenge run. "Is it possible for me to save her from the Titan?" was the headline. And it didn't react. She didn't publish or comment, she just trained. But behind the calm exterior, her heartbeat quickened. She knew this was it. The story had written itself. And the trip has come full circle. Now she would have to cope with the Eala she had never expected, the same person who had teased her in the past. No worry this time. Before her first game, she looked into the mirror in the locker room and muttered. Every swing that week served a purpose. With every victory, the impending collision got closer. Reporters questioned her about the rivalry, the handshake, and the whispers. Eala smiled politely and replied, "I'm not thinking about the past. I'm thinking about what to do next." But everyone knew the truth. Next was her past. It would soon be seen to the cameras that it was about to catch fire. The fans would soon detect it. And when Eala eventually found herself across the net from Sabalenka once more, the storm that had been building for months was ready to erupt. The atmosphere at the Madrid venue is dense. That quiet that lies between tumult and anticipation. Fans were crammed into every seat, phones out, emotions racing. The competition that everyone had been looking forward to was finally here. Alex Eala versus Aryna Sabalenka, reputation versus retaliation, calm accuracy versus pure strength. As soon as you took the court, you could feel the difference. Eala didn't smile or wave. Her inscrutable, unblinking gaze was fixated straight across the internet. Sabalenka, on the other hand, came in like a cyclone, her racket beating repeatedly on her thigh. For a moment, she grinned, the same smirk from Dubai, as though she were still in charge. But this time, she didn't own the moment. The first serve of the match echoed like a gunshot. Sabalenka made forceful, opening moves, slamming aces and shouting "Internet explosion" and "Fallout" after every point. But Ally did not flinch. She moved with the serenity and fluidity of water. Every rally turned into a contest of wills. The glare came next. After 23 strokes of perfect accuracy, Eala finished one of the longest points in the first set with a laser forehand down the line. The crowd erupted. For the first time, she didn't just turn away. Silent, composed, and cold, she fixed her gaze squarely on Sabalenka. That look was all that was spoken. "I've changed as a Dubai girl." Cameras zoomed in instantly. The video went viral on Twitter in a matter of minutes. One commenter claimed that Eala merely shot Sabalenka the death stare. Another said, "That's the look of revenge." The intensity of the game increased. Eala resisted Sabalenka's attempts to overpower her by skillfully returning the strikes. It was chess disguised as tennis. Sabalenka clenched her fist and yelled at her opponent in an attempt to intimidate them, but I turned into her shield. An amazing thing happened in the middle of the second set. Sabalenka flung her racket into the court after losing back-to-back points. There was a gasp from the audience. Eala remained silent. She simply moved to the baseline, bounced the ball 3 times, and hit an ace down the center. It was the fastest serve she has made during the competition. The stadium collapsed. Sabalenka stared in disbelief. Ally did not celebrate. With a single nod, she seemed to indicate that one was for Dubai. The cameras recorded every second. The glare, the calm, the message. IA broke Sabalenka's serve at 54 with a scorching backhand winner that painted the line, keeping Sabalenka in the match-set match. Eala, the chair umpire, yelled that the audience went crazy and fell to her knees, not in shock but in relief. The moment was replayed in slow motion by broadcasters, who called it the tipping point. By the time the final set began, every rally felt intimate, shot by shot. This was the outcome of months of silence, shame, and training. As they approached the net, Sabalenka hesitated. There was no sneer or grumble this time, just a peaceful acknowledgement. Eala extended a firm, strong, nearly regal hand. It was accepted by Sabalenka. Cameras were flashing from every angle. "Welcome back to mine." As soon as their hands were released, Aya spoke in a barely audible whisper that was caught up by the sideline microphone. The internet took off in a matter of minutes. Videos titled "Ayala's Cold Revenge Moment" flooded every platform. Fans disagreed on what she meant. Analysts labeled it poetic justice. But for those who had followed the trek, the significance was clear. This was not arrogance. Closure resulted from it. Eala refrained from shouting. She didn't brag. She exited the court with the calm satisfaction of someone who didn't need permission. Since the cameras did not record the loss this time. Although they were successful in capturing salvation, the story was far from over. Because when revenge occurs on a worldwide level, everyone has something to say. Just minutes after the final handshake, the world went into overdrive. Every angle, glance, whisper, and breath of the match has already been uploaded, examined, and discussed by millions of people. In less than an hour, the term "Eala's revenge" began to trend globally regarding the reality of retaliation. Videos of her icy glare went viral on Twitter and TikTok, where they were slowed down and labeled with terms like courageous, cold, and queen energy. Others recorded the last handshake, concentrating on the exact moment she said, "Welcome back to mine." The fact that no one could agree on what she meant didn't even matter. Beyond the actual game, the moment grew. Sports retailers prospered. ESPN referred to it as a rivalry revived. Tennis Channel claims that a new mental behemoth is emerging. Players expressed their thoughts as well. Coco Gauff tweeted, "She's not a kid anymore." Not everyone was cheering when Anjabir uploaded a simple fire emoji. Sabalenka supporters immediately retaliated. Eala was charged with being arrogant and mocking a champion. One Belarusian publication's headline read, "Disrespect or Dominance." Eala overreaches. The narrative suddenly split in two. She was called a hero by one fan and chilly by another. Every time someone praised her elegance, someone else accused her of seeking disproportionate retribution. But Eala didn't say anything at all. Nothing was disclosed by her. She remained silent. The sound was not even acknowledged by her. Despite social media burning all around her, she returned to exercise the next morning as if nothing had occurred. But the world was resistant to change. Analysts repeatedly acted out the handshake. Frame-by-frame analysis, lip-reading, and slow motion. They turned a whisper into a documentary. What did she actually say? Was it planned in advance? Was it emotional or strategic? The story took on a life of its own. Talk shows talked about her perspective. Some former players commended her for her composure, while others advised her not to let pride get in the way. But the one person who could stop the chaos did not. Then came Sabalenka's interview. As she sat in front of reporters, she smiled a little. Her initial reply, "She played great," was a delicate reaction that veterans give when their pride still hurts. But at last, the question that everyone had been anticipating was asked. Did Alex Eala treat you disrespectfully during the handshake? Sabalenka paused, looked down, and laughed softly. She shared her opinions. "Thank you," she said. "But she should know. I too have difficulties forgetting things." That one line rekindled the fire. It was now being referred to by fans as a growing rivalry.